But then it's why a big turnout here today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great to see it.
Yeah, for
a very special occasion.
Special occasion is right, yeah.
Dan Murphy and his comrades.
That's right, yeah.
Years ago, just when Dan was shot.
That was Dan, yeah.
Murdered, really, but
lost his life, yeah. Tragically, like, you know, for the whole.
I suppose they were fighting for what they believed in.
Yeah, for the whole family. It was an awful tragedy at the time, like, because his mother was at home, like, at the time, like, and his brother, like, and and they had to go through all that, like, you know. So today he's been honoured, like, which is
100 years ago.
It's 100 years ago.
Executed, or murdered by the Free State.
By the Free State, yeah, that's right.
In the wrong as well, because it wasn't him that actually had done the case for that mine.
Yeah. But they just picked they picked Dan, and that was
they
it.
Wanted someone for revenge.
That's right, yeah.
Dan was it, you know.
Dan was it. So that's great for that.
Okay.
To remember anyone who struggled for our freedom, a freedom we still haven't yet achieved. With this monument behind me, we pay great tribute to the woman of Commemoration, Mick the Post Murphy, and the 5 volunteers from the village who died for Ireland's freedom. But we especially pay an emotional tribute to the Blacksmith volunteer, Dan Murphy. And yesterday was the centenary of his murder by the Free State Army on March 24th, 1923. Dan's father was also Dan. His mother was Katie Murphy Nihicky. He had 4 sisters, Bridget, Hannah, Minnie and Catherine, and he had 6 brothers, Dennis, Paddy, John Coffey, Dave, Ulick and Willie. With such a large family, it's hard to imagine we do not have any of these Murphys in Ireland today. Many circumstances contributed to this, but the collateral damage of the Civil War was the greatest factor. Thankfully, as of now, even though they have tried, we do not have commemorations or tributes to the Black and Tans in Ireland. But knowing the history of some of the Free Staters' brutality, one wonders why they share tributes with the Republicans of that time. The path of acceptance was the easy one, if not the right or just one. Dan followed his beliefs and took the difficult path. He stood for freedom for the entire country, and he did not obey or conform. While easy to obey, he did not bow down to any mandate imposed upon him. What made these men and women at the time even more courageous was knowing that conquering their enemy was a next to impossible task. They were up against a well-armed Free State Army assembled by our own government and paid for by the British, supposedly to keep peace following the treaty signing. Of course, the bloodthirsty Free Staters continued their ruthlessness, and many more Republicans lost their lives after that ceasefire, including the cold-blooded murder of Ger Leary at their Castleinland barracks 1 month later. Now, while that was more of a general history of the time, I will now introduce you to Micheál Walsh. Micheál.
We hit today, there's a dancing crowd, and anyone who thinks that Republican didn't carry it, I'm making a bad mistake. And the crowd that hit today proved it. What I'm going to do today is very small, but very significant. I'm going to give a small bit of history that led up to the mine and the shooting of Dan Murphy. It came about because there was 3 volunteers shot from the Knocknagoshel before that. There was 1 volunteer stabbed to death in his cell above in Tipperary Town. There was leaked information about a well-planned ambush attacked the Heinz Custom Dock the road, and there was several house raids. And they had Ger Leary, Humphrey Murphy and Mick McGinn decided it had to stop. So the mine in Knocknagoshel was Knocknagoshel people standing up for themselves. Had nothing to do with Ballycity, county bridge or Cassavian. It was just Knocknagoshel people. And it was the raids on the houses, it was the shooting of the volunteers, and that caused the mine to be laid in Buckfield in Knocknagoshel. That was the cause.
It's a great honour to open this here today to my granduncle Dan Murphy, 100 years on from his date. Anyone would be proud to have heroes like Dan Murphy in their ancestry. It's a poignant fact that the Murphy name of that family from 100 years ago was not carried through to today in the locality. A scenario that may well have been different if Dan had not given his life for the 32 counties of Ireland.
Incredibly honoured to be here today as a personal friend of the Walsh family, and I'm so happy for the family to see such a large attendance here today, and I think it's a huge tribute to all that they have sought to achieve here. I have the very fondest and happiest of memories as a child of spending time in Micheál and Anne's house, always a hospitable house, and particularly in the company of my father, and it was always a great house to go to. And in that house, the affairs of the world were always being sorted out, and my father was usually in the middle of it with Micheál. Don't been friends for many years with Micheál, with Anne, and with their family, and it has been a great blessing to me. So, in that spirit of friendship, I'm here today, and I'm honoured to be here today. Another song of grief and woe, bereft of hope and cheer. Another martyr is laid low, the blacksmith volunteer. Only too well that every wreath laid marks a young life prematurely ended, and every candle lit marks a life of endless possibilities extinguished forever. And so, as we gather here today in a spirit of respect and remembrance, but also I would like to think we gather in a spirit of hope. And in that poem, Seamus Heaney talks about man's inhumanity to man. And he speaks of human beings having the capacity to hurt each other, to torture one another. But equally so in the poem, he tells us that if we are to survive, we need to believe that a further shore is reachable from here. A shore, Heaney tells us in the poem, that must be on the far side of revenge. And I think the very beautiful Celtic cross that is being unveiled here today beautifully encapsulates that message. The circle.